Hi everybody, it's your friend Corey at Mighty Mushroom or MIT Mushroom. We are live on the internet. We're going to do some live listings so I can get some crap done. Um, as we get this hangout going here, and I figure out how to not make things crappy. Let's see. Fix some things. Fix some things. Fix some things. Fix some things. I probably should have invited people before. Oh, we have viewers. Hi, viewers. I need to fix this. I'm sorry. I have a little bit of a backache. Oh. Good afternoon. I got a late start here. Sorry. Had to get some stuff done. And I don't want to be that loud. So let's see here. Let's go for this. I was gonna do some live listing. Hi, Michelle. I'm gonna be very, you know how professional I am. Normally going to be still early. I'm supposed to go to this sale at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Just ridiculous sale. Hey, Kayla.
Hey.
I meant to start this earlier, but I got sidetracked.
How dare you?
How dare you? Dude, I don't know if you looked at if I sent a picture on the other thing of that Silver Wave watch.
Yeah, but what is it? Like, I mean, it's a watch, but like, why is it special?
They were just ultra high end and very low production, and some of them you had to like get in Japan.
Oh.
And I believe this was the one that you had to get in Japan. So it doesn't have a battery in it, or the battery's dead, obviously, because it's like dead stock. But I've seen like pieces of them. I've seen them like, because they were really expensive, so people wore the shit out of them, and they're just, they're steel or whatever, so they got corroded and all kinds of stuff. But I've never seen one in this condition. And the one that Sean Connery wore in the movie Octopussy, it's kind of got like this big LED screen or whatever LCD screen, and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. And I think they started around like 600.
Oh.
To like $2,000 for like a crappy digital. Link. I'm sending a link. Everybody calm down. Everybody link. Alright. There's a link. I sent you a link. I need to like read your email and stuff.
Yeah, Lauren, how is the reseller event going? I forgot you were there.
Like, oh yeah. Wait, Lauren from Cold City Loots over there?
Yeah, shouldn't you be out partying?
Well, they're not as fun as us, so they can't party like we can party.
Obviously. A live YouTube hangout while we list on eBay is way more fun.
Hey.
Michelle, I don't know how to price that Valentino dress that you have. I found a vintage Valentino blazer like a year ago that I was for sure, I thought it was going to sell for like hundreds of dollars, and it sold for like $30. So
things can get weird. Yeah,
you never know.
You really do never know. There was this Givenchy like blazer, and like some sold for $75 and some sold for $7,500.
Did you buy that yesterday?
No, I decided that I didn't feel like messing.
You were trying to get me to buy it, and I was like,
I think it was a good buy. I actually think it was a really good buy. I mean, when do you come across that? Not that often.
Yeah, I think I definitely seen it before.
Uh-oh, we got Evolos with the DT.
I gotta go. This guy, no. Hey, long time no chat.
Put
know,
your
right?
foil hats on. Here's your friend Evilos.
Show
What
us
is it?
your D-tube.
Could you guys hear me and see me? Everything
Yeah.
okay?
Can you
My
hear
phone's
me? Can you see
phone-
me? Okay for work.
Now my phone's acting all weird, but I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
We're better now that you're here.
Exactly. Doesn't matter.
La 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 la.
What just happened in the background of Kayla's?
I know,
I know,
you
right?
always have Kayla's husband like killing orcs in the background.
I just tried to go, exactly. Does it matter? Like super sassy though.
Yeah, but he wasn't talking to Chris. He was
No.
talking to the guy on the screen.
No. Sassy Mike comes out when he's rating.
Does it matter?
He's all sassy.
Oh my gosh. I actually have to get some work done here, kids.
Me too. I have like 200.
Same.
Wait,
But-
you started a stream and then everyone's got to leave?
No, we're gonna wait till it's live working thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna live list some stuff here.
Evilos, I want to hear about you. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Tell me
I
about
know
your
what's
life.
going down.
Oh my goodness. Just busy, just kind of restructuring my whole reselling stuff, and just I've had a lot of success with the DTube thing and the Steam It thing, and I just been kind of rolling with that and kind of putting eBay to the side and doing a lot of stuff with like print on demand, like t-shirt clothing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of like I don't know, it's been weird. Like this year's been weird.
Good weird
What
or
do you-
bad weird?
Yeah, exactly. Be more specific.
I guess good. It's just like, we've all been through our things where we do the eBay thing forever and then something else changes and then we do something else. And I feel like right now,
Oh, yeah.
for me personally, I'm like in another weird kind of space with with all the Steam It stuff and just like starting to sell clothes now and trying to do the merch by Amazon stuff. And it's crazy.
Can somebody send Lauren a link? She's asking for a link. Let me see if I have her.
Yeah, Lauren, come tell us about this event you're at.
I can't.
I don't know if that link will work
I don't
for you,
have her
Lauren, but
email address. Hold on. Let me see if she sent it to me. Hold on.
Has anyone heard from Jenny?
I
she
haven't heard-
posted today. She posted on Instagram today. I think she is just doing the damn thing.
I
Yeah,
think she's
she's
super
busy.
focused on her dance career right now.
She's what?
Wow.
Oh, cause she doing like the dance studio kind of thing.
Yeah,
or
like
whatever?
she just got like last time we talked to her, she had just gotten certified to be an instructor. And remember she was going to all those different places trying to I think she's super focused on that.
She
Yeah,
says
she
that
was trying to like do the
dancing,
studio thing or whatever.
she said
I don't
dancing
know all
has
the
taken
details,
over
but-
her time and her
Yeah.
headspace. So she's scaling back her resale business to accommodate that.
See, she's going
Yeah.
through the same thing I'm going through too. It's like a whole different, like, just everything different, everything.
Well, I mean, you find what you're good at. I mean, it goes in waves sometimes, you know.
Exactly.
I'm like
exactly.
hyper focused on reselling. It's just because it's the only thing I'm really good at.
There she is, Miss America.
Hello, beautiful.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I already took all my makeup off, so don't judge my life.
Stop
I never
it, you
put
look
any on to
beautiful.
begin with, so
Lauren, hold on.
I never
I'm-
wear makeup.
I'm making you big because how do you not have makeup on right now?
I know you're so cute.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Oh
I
yeah,
put
sure.
my jacket back on so I could talk to you guys in my jacket.
Okay, tell us about the event. You were at the
Because I'm
reseller
gonna sell
thing.
it after today.
Let me before I was trying to load up some drafts here, but let me get over here. Okay, let's talk to Lauren for a second. I'm making you big, Lauren. Ha ha.
Tell us how
I don't know
goes
what that
it.
means, but if there's an echo, I don't know how to fix it.
No, you're fine.
There's no
Okay.
echo. I said I'm making the screen big so we can talk to you.
Tell us about the event.
Yeah.
It's really fun. You guys are missing a really good time.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're all having a pretty great time on YouTube here tonight. So, I mean, I've got beverages and everything.
We got
Tell us
beverages.
okay, hold on. I want to know like what the structure of the event is like what's been going on. What are we missing here?
Yeah.
Honestly, if you already know like everything you need to know, like about like
Or mute yourself.
eBay and like there's different workshops and stuff, but mostly I'm here to network. Like I've been selling for a long time, so I'm trying to meet as many people as possible. But I think that it's awesome. I think it's very well put on, and there's food. I love food. I had barbecue food tonight, so
I mean,
Yeah, I like
what
food
else
too.
could you want?
That's
it's
so.
a really
Who
good
has
time.
has?
I have to be up soon.
Is it 2 people or is it 2 days or 1 day?
It's today, tomorrow, and I'm going home Sunday, so I don't think there's anything going on Sunday.
So what happens? What happened today? Like, what was it like?
eBay's here.
Right.
Doug's here, and Alan are here.
Doug and Alan. Mm-hmm.
And they're awesome. And they did an hour, and then there's different speakers. There are like the Tiki guys here, and Thrift Love Sell is here, and 10K is here, and the Reseller Fam is here, and there's like Rally Roots is here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And a bunch of other people that are from Facebook that I don't know.
Have you gotten to talk to the eBay people? So I know Doug and Alan personally. Did you get to talk to them at all?
They're gonna send me a hoodie.
Oh.
But we're talking about getting something together in Chicago because there's no events in Chicago.
Yeah.
So hopefully we do that. But I really like them. They're really cool.
No, they're really good people. Doug told me that he gave me a shout out today.
Oh, they love you here. So they're like,
That's-
Nicole State does events in Portland. I'm like,
They're interesting humans. I love them though. I got to hang out with them when I went to eBay this last time, and then I've just kind of stayed in contact. But you should start doing events, especially like Doug and stuff can help you. You know, like there should be community events everywhere, and like Poshmark does like Posh and Sips and all of that fun stuff. Like eBay should be doing something similar, and there's no reason that you shouldn't be hosting them in Chicago.
Yeah, I think you should too.
so why aren't any of you guys here?
Well, because I have a
just-
business with 5 employees. And last week I took a whole week off. I went to eBay and Disneyland, and that's why I'm not there.
I had to decide between eBay Open or that, and I would just rather go to eBay Open.
Okay, I'll meet you there then.
Yes. Oh, eBay Open is definitely happening. But
We're
you know, I
definitely
flew down to
rallying.
San Jose
There's-
2 weeks ago.
There's going to be a rally for eBay.
There,
Open,
so
probably.
you know, got to spread it out a little bit. It
I
just
know where
wasn't
eBay
on the budget.
Open's at this year.
You jerk.
I don't know anything about
She's
that. So
teasing.
no one
She's
asked
teasing
asked me any questions about anything like that because I don't know anything.
I can't
about
tell
any
you,
of those
but
things.
I do know where it's at, and I'm
She's
very
lying. Don't listen to anything she says.
How about we can guess and you can like blink?
It's going to be in a grassy field in Pennsylvania.
Yep. It's in Kansas City right now.
Surprise.
That's not
Surprise.
surprise. I'm here.
That's actually eBay Open.
Yeah, I don't know why they pick Vegas. I mean, they did it in Vegas last year. They did it in Vegas the first year. The eBay Live events were like in a bunch of cities all over the place. I thought was pretty cool. It would be. I think Portland's would be a great place for eBay to have like an actual official event because it's like a quirky, accessible city, and they have a big convention center and easy transportation and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I sat with Catherine today, and we are going to have an event at the Wacom space in May. So I went down there and spoke with her about that today. We're going to have a photography event. So we're working with a local, one of the bigger photography like provider, like equipment providers. Megan knows them from working at Wacom. And so we're hoping to have them have a representative there, and then hopefully they can put together, what we want them to do is put together a package for resellers. So like a very basic like intro lighting kit sort of thing. And then they can come and demo it at the event, and also just like show people how to take real like product photos with like a white background, and how, you know, why you want that for Google Shopping and like all of that, and really talk about how that will help your eBay business to have these really good photos.
I like that. I like the idea of like a social learning event like that. It really it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, we want it to be like a workshop, like a very hands-on workshop. And then we're talking to Doug, and then hopefully they'll come up, and then really just have it be like, I want to do like a store review part of it too, where like, you know, maybe a few sellers are there, like myself and maybe you guys who already know how to sell and can review stores, and like, you know, just kind of have like a couple different workshop areas.
I like that too.
And I know some of the guys from Big Mobile will come. And so like, I really want it to be this event that's like, no one's sitting at like a table. Like everyone is really like involved and hands-on in these little like workshop situations.
Well, yeah, it kind of shows like, I think that's how the type of businesses that we run are. They're very hands-on. They're very like, get in there, roll up your sleeves. The sink has a leak in it. Get some bubble gum and scrap that, or strap it together. You know. So I like that.
Bubble
I
gum.
like what bubble gum.
Bubble gum.
Bubble gum. Yeah, so I really love the idea. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Lauren, do you live in Chicago?
Yes.
When are you going to come visit Portland? When are you going to come visit us in the Northwest?
When you have an event that's longer than one day.
Oh, I just sold something on eBay.
That's
nope.
fair. I mean,
I
that's
wanted to come to
fair.
the holiday party, but I couldn't justify going there and coming back. Like,
well, you could have stayed and we would have done stuff.
I know, but
You're right. One day is hard.
and
It
it was weathery. It was like
Oh, yeah.
snowy and stuff.
It
Yeah.
was weathery.
It was
It's
weathery.
a hard time of year.
Come
was-
in the summer when
Right,
it's not
why
so
not?
weathery.
Is it warm there in the summer? Is it like super warm there in the summer or no?
Yeah.
Not usually. It doesn't usually get that hot.
It's awesome
We
in the
had a
summer.
couple days
Summer is the
last
best time to come.
80 to 100 is like pretty summer.
Rarely. It rarely gets up to 100.
It gets,
Not
up
in
to,
Portland. Yeah, it rarely gets to 100.
it gets to 100 at least 1 or 2 weeks a year.
I don't know.
The past 2 years have been bad. Like it's been the
Yeah.
90s for like a full month the past.
You're right. You're right.
I know because I had to take photos and it was really hot.
I guess I will say that it's no worse than Chicago.
I'm gonna have to
It's pretty bad here.
I have to go grab the charger for my laptop so it doesn't die. So I'll be back in a minute. Pardon me for a moment.
It's 70 degrees and then it's 20 degrees within like 20 hours. So
Yeah. Same. It's the same here. You're just coming across.
It's going to be 71 here on Monday.
What?
Like, yeah, it's going to be 71 on Monday.
When is the time change happening?
Sunday.
so how do you
I
guys see
know.
the chat?
We spring
You
forward,
need a
right?
second. You need a second screen to do it.
I'm on a phone.
Yeah, then you can't see the chat. No one's talking anyway, so
Oh.
Yeah, I
We're
hate
the only
doing
ones
this
who
on the phone,
talk.
too.
So.
Yeah, I'm just a fly on the wall. I like just to come and sit and just listen to everyone.
yeah, nobody's chatting tonight. There's like 3 people watching, so it's like everybody's at the reseller event probably, and like not
No,
in
there's
YouTube.
nobody there that's usually on this chat.
There was one lady that did. Oh, you'll have to find her. Maybe you can find her. One of the ladies in my mentorship group is actually there right now, and so we had a meeting tonight right before this, and she had to like go in our hotel room. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm at the reseller fam event," and I'm like, "What?" Hold on, I'll show you what she looks like.
Okay.
I mean, that will help.
Michelle and Death Piles are like the only ones in chat right now.
Death piles for the win.
She doesn't have a
People,
photo.
though.
Her name's Karen.
So just go downstairs and just shout Karen and see if you
There's
can find
nobody
her.
out anymore. We have to be up real early. I'm going to this coffee place way before the thing opens. I got to get there. It's like 12 miles from here, and it's really pretty. So I heard. I got
Are you going by yourself?
My husband's here with me.
Oh,
So he'll be taking me there.
what time is it there? Is it midnight? It's 2 hours ahead of West Coast.
Well,
Okay, here she is. This is Karen. Can you see her?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, she's so cute.
No, Karen. Wait. Lauren.
She muted herself. Durr.
I remember.
It's
Lauren, I'll
okay.
send you on-
She'll figure it out in a second.
She got it.
I'm
There
back.
she is.
Okay, I'm sending you a
Show me
photo of
again.
her. I'm sending it to you on Instagram. But okay, can you see it now? Look it. Can you see? Can you see it?
Oh, no, I never met her. Carol? Wait,
Karen.
Karen.
Oh, what do you think, Lauren? What do you think the total cost of attending this event is going to be? You know, admission, hotel, transportation, all that stuff.
Like what I paid?
You're a little bit low. Your volume. See if I can turn you
I
up.
think you paid that.
Like what I paid?
Yeah.
2 tickets, my room. We drove here. Plus food. Maybe like $700 for 2 people.
Okay. Because you drove.
Room and tickets and
It's a tax
Food's
write-off
included.
too,
It's just
if you
dinner and
structure it
drinks.
properly.
Yeah. Even if you barely structure it at all, it's still a pretty good tax write-off.
Yeah.
eBay Open cost me around $700 last year, I think, total. That was a crazy event. For the value that I've extracted from that event, it's like, God, I wish everything I spent $700 on was as valuable as that. Jeez,
The extract is such
We
a
didn't
scientific
fly.
term.
I'm a scientist.
I extracted all the information from everyone. That $700 was totally worth it.
What's a Tantalus? I gotta list a Tantalus before I can join. Death Pile says.
Google it. Well, maybe it's not a safe thing to Google.
Yeah,
Look,
really.
I'm really excited for eBay Open. I think eBay Open is going to be a great event. I'm really excited to go, and I really hope that more of like the Instagram community goes this year, because I feel like there wasn't a ton of people from like the community that we hang out in that went last year. So I hope that this year we get more of that crowd there.
I was totally alone.
We're gonna have to just push it this year, and just get the people that we know to want to attend.
Yeah, crew up.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Okay, so Megan and I, when we sat down to talk about our event in May, we were like, okay, so maybe we can help them push like eBay Open, and like, what if we get them to like give away a free ticket? We want eBay to like, maybe they'll do some giveaways. You know what I mean? Like, eBay needs to help push it too.
Get people excited, and it's like, it was a great event, but I felt like it was strongly skewed to the older generation. Not
Yeah,
the-
I want to change that.
What did they have? Metamucil like tips and stuff like that, or
there were Metamucil shots.
No way! I saw the bicycle of booze.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. They had boozy popsicles and stuff.
I need that in my life.
The booze was flowing pretty hard at eBay Open. The party where the Bare Naked Ladies did their thing, like the Bare Naked Ladies performed, and it was a full free bar for 4 hours, and all the food, and the food was really, really, really good. That was an amazing party. That was one of the coolest parties I've ever been to. And it was like an eBay party.
I mean, like, don't you get free booze all week, basically?
Well, there's no booze during the day, but so they'll have a happy hour at the end of each day. So like the first day, so they'll do breakfast, and then breakfast and lunch are included in their huge meals of like premium stuff, and then dinner is on you, except for the night of the party where they provide dinner. But along with those 2 meals, they provide 2 snacks. So it's like you have breakfast, you chill, you do your thing. Then there's like a crazy snack that's like very like elaborate, and then chill some more, do some more things, take some courses, network, lunch, do some stuff, dingle dangle, waggly woogly, a snack, and then more stuff, and then a happy hour at like 5 or 6 o'clock. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. The pool, it was at MGM Grand, and the pool is like the entrance to the pool is like right next to the entrance to eBay Opens. It's pretty amazing.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Am I screen sharing right now?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are, sir.
I bought a bottle of this today for $10, new, sealed. Not quite sure what it's gonna go for though.
Okay, so can I screen share and you can tell me how to list this?
Yep.
Okay, look at I have this. I got a blazer. I don't know anything about blazers, so someone's got to help me out here. I got this thing. This is what my employee wrote about it, but I feel like this is probably wrong, so maybe you can help me. It's John. This guy, John
Barbados. Yeah.
Size 46. I don't know if that's any good. That's it.
It looks like shit.
Yeah, I've seen some of your photos.
Ouch.
You gonna put that in the description? Looks like shit.
I mean, look, I've seen some of the. I saw the Pendleton blanket I gave you. The photos that guy took of that, horrid.
Yeah, they were pretty bad, but that thing's gonna get up to like 150 at auction. So, and I'm splitting it with you. So shut up.
I want that back.
This has stains on it too.
Hello?
It says.
He did take horrible pictures of that thing. He did take horrible pictures of the Pendleton blanket. I agree.
Oh, there's a little stain. Why didn't he just tell me so I could wash it? Okay, well, anyway, how would you list this?
What?
Like men's
I can't
blazer?
even see the screen.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
It's John Barbados
Yeah,
men's
coming off.
blazer.
Oh no,
It's-
I'm scared.
It's just a men's blazer. Like there's nothing special.
Something's
about it.
weird. I'm sorry. I can't see anybody moving. That's
Oh.
referred to. Have you seen who's that guy? Who's the guy? The crazy what's so the guy who calls himself the thrift god, what's his name?
I don't know. Why did they put it at the size
Paul
40?
Cantu.
He's like from Texas.
Paul Cantu.
There's someone called the Thrift God.
Anybody
on
hear me?
YouTube?
Yes, Paul
I can hear
Cantu.
you. I never heard of
Something's
this guy.
wrong.
That's funny.
He can't hear us.
I can hear you.
He took his jacket off and lost his superpowers.
I don't think he can hear us anymore though.
Hey Corey.
Paul
stop.
Cantu. Yeah, Paul Cantu. He actually refers to those white. He refers to those white marks. Okay.
What is going
Yes,
on?
everyone's stuck on my screen, so I don't know. I can see
Okay,
Nicole though.
Close
Not
it and
Oh
come
my
back.
god, people are bidding on my stuff like crazy.
like the
Oh my
blanket.
god, that's
Okay, let me find Corey's blanket and then we can talk about bad photos. So I gave him this blanket because I don't sell these things. I had this blanket for like a year. It was sitting in my nonsense pile, and I was like, Corey, you're here. Take this blanket. Oh, I actually have it. It's right here because I recently viewed it. Here. I'm going to screen share this blanket, and you guys can talk about bad photos. Okay, so here's Corey's. This is the main photo of his blanket for one. You guys see it?
It looks like
That's
Corey's
wallpaper.
over here
terrible.
telling me I had a bad photo of something. Here.
I actually listed the item though. You just had it in a death pile, so kiss my.
Yeah, but you're talking bad about my blazer. Look at
Yeah,
this.
That was a
photo
shitty
sucks.
blazer. It wasn't the pictures of the blazer. It was the actual blazer.
Okay,
It
look at
looks
these
like-
photos.
Yeah, it looks like an abstract painting from the 50s or something like that.
It's
What just
supposed to.
happened?
It's
No.
supposed to.
Why didn't you do it like everyone else, all folded nice? This is how you photograph these blankets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Corey.
didn't photograph it. I didn't even draft it. I didn't even post the draft.
Okay, but it's your fault still. Like, he didn't even put the tag as the first, like, what is he? This is the photo that people see.
I don't care.
Looks really
Honestly, I really don't even care.
That is the wrong attitude to have.
Well, you know what? It's the attitude I have right now because.
He's put on the spot.
So actually, my initial frustration is when I realized it was like that. It already had a bid, and I was like, "Oh, great! I can't add pictures."
What is this? Like, this photo is sideways, and then this is the same photo, but the right way.
I don't know. I
That's
really
kinda
don't
cool
know.
that Pendleton does blankets, though. That's cool. I didn't know that.
That's what they're known for. Their blankets.
I thought they were just known for the jackets.
Yeah, that came after. They were initially like a blanket. Show it. That is not typical. One and two. Your cum stained John Barbados jacket has nothing to do with your Pendleton.
Yeah, you said
blanket.
that looked horrible. So, like, I
No,
think it's
no,
not
no,
your
no. I didn't say your pictures looked horrible. I said the jacket looks horrible, and
Okay,
I'm
well,
not gonna.
The
I'm not
internet
gonna-
told me to buy it. I was shopping with the Instagram open, and I was like, to the racks, and the internet was like, buy that. It's $100 blazer. And I was like, cool. And I spent like $2 on it.
Sell it, and let's see what happens.
For how much
How many
money?
buttons was it? 2 buttons? It was a
These,
2-button
you
blazer?
should be looking for these.
What is
Yeah.
that? I mean, it's a
Shoes.
shoe, but what is it?
Alan Edmonds Clifton,
Oh.
Shell Cordovan.
Oh, I heard about that on
Yeah.
Scandal.
Who, huh?
Do you follow the Shell Cordovan guy on Instagram?
There's a guy called Shell Cordovan guy.
Yeah, well, Shell Cordovan, I think is his actual name, but he is a teacher in LA, and he's like also like he collects Shell Cordovan, and he bought that Nike. I found like a Nike picnic basket like last year. Kayla was with me when I found it, and he bought it from me. And then I just kind of started talking to him after that. He's a really cool guy. Like, so he goes to like swap meets and he sells on the side.
Hey, guys,
What
my
is it?
time's up. I'll have a good night. Everyone have fun tomorrow. And
Chris,
Bye.
good to see you, buddy.
I'll see you.
So here's his account. Can you see my page or my phone?
Yep.
Mhm.
This is him. You should definitely follow him.
Okay.
But he's just like a fantastic human, and he has a lot of knowledge about shoe. I mean, clearly, but his photos are great,
He likes shoes.
and a lot of them he's just like, "This is in my collection. I'm not selling this."
Yeah, I'm not good at collecting things.
Okay, Nicole, I looked up your blazer. I would say list it for $50.
That
Oh,
is
you
not-
actually went the step forward beyond berating and actually you created some action.
Imagine that.
I was just trying to be funny, and you guys have no sense of humor today whatsoever.
I mean, if you want to list it like cheaply, then I'd say list it for like $40. But I think
Yeah,
you
I think
could
it's like
probably
I think
get
it's a
50.
$35 to $40 blazer, but I mean, I don't.
50 and then free
Even though I'm
shipping.
horrible at taking pictures and monitoring the quality of my listings, I still wouldn't list something with a whale sperm on it.
Oh, Lauren, you already follow him. I know that because look it right there. It says you like it.
He's my friend.
Oh.
Is he your actual friend?
He's actually reached out a few times to buy some things. And I was kind of sketchy because he's followed me, but I didn't follow him. So
Uh-huh.
I was always like, oh, well, who is this guy? And then I checked him out, and then you mentioned him. I was like, well, maybe he does buy things from people on Instagram.
His name is Daniel.
Yeah.
No. Oh, it is?
And yeah.
Shell
because
Cordovans. With an S, right?
Yeah. I did a store. I did a store review for him. He was like the first person I ever did a store review for.
How does
He was like
feeling-
so stoked with
Wow.
my help.
He
And
seems
then
to really be able to take pictures.
His
I
pictures
wanna
are really
meet-
good.
yeah, it's really a goal of mine to meet him. Like, there's a few people on my list that I want to meet, and he's actually one of them. I love teachers in general because I feel like that's a really hard job to have, and it's really like no one appreciates how hard our teachers work for us, and they don't get paid enough, and like,
I agree with all of that.
and so there's a lot of teachers who are also resellers, like nurses and teachers. I feel like are like two huge reselling bubbles.
Nurses make way more money than teachers, though, eh?
But there's different types of nurses, right? But anyway, and he's a male teacher, which is I feel like also, and I don't know. I just really one day I'm going to meet Daniel. It's on my list of people I want to meet.
Nice.
Where does he live?
LA.
So you found like a Nike picnic basket and you sold it to him? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I kind of like the wicker picnic basket that had like it was like a wooden one that had Nike on it, and I guess back in the 80s they gave them away, for like some summer event that they did, and the guy from round two. The only reason I knew anything about them, I didn't know when I bought it what it was. I paid like $1 for it.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "Oh, they have one of those at the round two in LA in like the gallery where like they don't, it's like the super high end, like crazy stuff." And I guess they're like really rare. And so I sold it for $100 to him.
Okay. What's it worth?
I don't know what it's worth, but he was keeping it for himself, and I felt like it was a fair flip.
It was if you buy something for $1 and sell it for 100, and you mean, come on, it's a fair flip, definitely.
Yeah, it was a fair flip. I think it was probably worth. I think they're so rare that it's hard to put a value on stuff like that.
Yeah. So like some of the stuff I found today, I was talking to dude from Helton Authentics. He does all the athletic stuff. And I was showing him those medals from the home that Tinker Hatfield grew up in, and he was like, I was trying to kind of get some idea, and he's like, yeah, like how do you put a value on that? I mean, the guy's a legend. Air Jordan, designer of Air Jordans. It's like, where else would you find this kind of stuff other than like Portland? Like, you're never going to find that anywhere else. You're not going to know what it is if you do. We live in today, just the things that just the couple of random events that happened today in Portland, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so fortunate. Like, it's crazy how fortunate I am. Yeah, I mean, I get out there and I do the work, but the opportunities are so crazy. Like you finding like the ultra rare Nike basket that might be worth $400 or $500 for $1, like, and that happens like every day, right? It happens somewhere.
I literally just listed those Nike like denim shorts I found a second ago. I'm listing right now.
The Agassiz.
Yeah.
You saw that Agassi so Bollettieri ran a camp for tennis, and Andre Agassi was one of his instructors. And that Adidas bag is a Bollettieri camp bag, and it cost I think it was 1992 or whatever the date is on those bags. It's late 80s, early 90s. It was $50,000 a person to go to that camp, and I got 2 of those bags from somebody who went to those camps. And the lady who was having it wasn't from a estate sale; it was from a garage sale, and it was an older lady, and her husband was like, I talked to her for a while. Her husband was like at Intel or some big company, and they could afford it. But Andre Agassi was their coach.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
But you know what Tinker is doing now, don't you?
What's up?
You know what Tinker does now, right?
What does Tinker do now?
He's like a high school basketball coach
Really? So, but I thought he still worked for Nike.
in Portland. Well, I saw Megan today, and she does Sneaker Week, right? So she like knows all these guys. And I was like, yeah, like Corey, because she knows you. I was like, Corey went to this estate today, and I was telling her about it, and she's like, that's crazy. Like Tinker's just in like, I don't know, the city still somewhere. I forget that she said like teaching. He's like a coach at a high school.
Yeah. Well, he's been a coach, like a track coach, and stuff like, and helping his mother was like a track trainer and stuff too. And I got all kinds of cool stuff from around the time that he was like in high school and college. And I got there a little bit too late. All of his tracksuits and stuff, like somebody else got before me. I know the guy who got them, but he's not gonna. I mean,
so tell us here. With
yeah, he's Bigfoot and Wild Boy on Instagram. He's the guy who bought the Nike bag for me. Remember the crazy Nike bag? Yeah. He got in there, and there was some because. Before Tinker worked for Nike, he was sponsored by Adidas, and I guess had something to do with Adidas on another level, because there were some like Adidas prototype shoes in the basement, and they were definitely not Nikes; they were Adidas stuff, so it was weird. And did you see all those? Like, I got a bunch of proto. So, according to the company that is doing the Secession and all that kind of stuff. All of the Nike stuff, because she got tons of it, and it's all in a warehouse, and there's likely to be an auction here shortly. And he was talking about hundreds and hundreds of pairs of shoes, early Nike shoes from the early 80s, like, because Tinker started working there in 81.
Why would he have them?
Because he doesn't care. He doesn't want to deal with it, I guess. It doesn't matter to him. He doesn't so
But I mean, like, mom just kept them all?
I think like I don't know what happened. Okay. I don't know how they're downsizing. I don't know. They didn't tell anybody that this had anything to do with Tinker at all. Okay. There was no announcement. They kept it totally secret. And then I walked in and I was like, I picked up a box and it said Tinker on it. And I was like, whose house is this? And then I walked down in the basement. There's just Nike boxes everywhere and stuff. And I'm like, I'm in the Twilight Zone right now. Like, what is going on? And she was like, oh yeah, this is Tinker Hatfield. He grew up here. And so it's like, well, if he grew up there, that's different than, because he didn't start, like the Nike stuff. Nike wasn't until like 1972, but she was like a running coach in the 60s and 70s. And I mean, she didn't throw anything away. I mean, there was like their clothing from high school in the 1960s. I mean, it was like a weird time capsule, because it was like ultra modern upstairs, but like in the basement, it was like a time capsule. Like no one had walked down there in like 40 years. It's really weird. And it's in Northeast Portland. But I mean, some of the things just don't make sense as far as like, I mean, did he just give her stuff and she just kept it? Like, you gotta like, you can understand like he grew up there, and the things that like medals and some of the tracksuits or hats or things that were like mementos would still be in the house, right? Mm-hmm. But he didn't start working for Nike until much later. But his brother works for Nike too.
That's so crazy. I think my sound is too. You need to turn your volume down a little, possibly.
Me?
Yeah, the echo is really bad.
Yeah,
but I think like. So, do you think that he is just using this as a time to just get rid of all the extra shit he has as well? He's like, well, whatever.
Yeah, him and his brother must be. So there's him, his brother, and he has a sister who's like much older apparently,
Mhm.
and maybe she was dealing with it, or I don't really, I don't know. I don't know the nature.
Go to the
What's up?
the Echo. Are you gonna go to the auction?
They're gonna tell me it's gonna be private, and if it happens, I'll let you know. But he was like, there was some kind of turmoil. There was some kind of turmoil that made some things not. He didn't go into it, but he was like, things are a little bit weird, and like there's all this stuff that they want to get rid of, and they want to do it as an auction, and this kind of stuff, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, also like legally stuff gets weird with that, like because if they're prototypes and samples and like I'm sure there's some. So technically, I remember because of the baby store, the Nike employees can't like sell the samples. So they would have to like give them away or whatever. So people would come into the resale store and their husbands would work at Nike and they would have like tubs of Nike shoes and stuff, right? And they'd be like, yeah, like we're technically not allowed to like resell this, but like whatever, what are we going to do with it? Like here, they would bring it into the resale store, but technically they're not like legally allowed to do all that. So I wonder if there's some like weird law situation that he's dealing with too, with all that stuff.
Something weird is happening in the chat. We have German trolls.
Just ignore it, or it gets worse.
Wait, what?
I think
Yes,
it's funny
German
because
trolls are my favorite. They just find chats that are like happening.
dude, that's amazing. Yes, I have 23 viewers and they're trolls.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't care. So yeah, so the protos, I don't. Once they leave Nike's possession is 9/10 of the law. I mean, I find Nike prototypes in the Goodwills all the time that are like signed off by Nike employees.
Yeah, I mean, but the Nike employees are not selling them. That's the trick.
Selling them?
The Nike employees cannot sell them.
Yeah, but Nike employees aren't supposed to sell anything Nike.
Right, but they're saying you find them at Goodwill. Like, yeah, so what? They gave them to Goodwill. It's a difference between like.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what I'm saying with this Tinkerfield
His
stuff.
mother has passed away, I would imagine, and she had ownership of them. They're no longer in his ownership. Like they're in some kind of succession kind of thing. I don't know.
But maybe that's what. Maybe okay. So this is what my theory would be then. Like you just said, like why would she have all this stuff? She probably didn't. He probably had it all still. And he's probably like, well, how the hell am I going to get rid of all this stuff? And now he's using this as an out. Like, no, this was her stuff, not my stuff.
But there wasn't tons of his stuff in there. It wasn't like that.
But for the auction stuff, like you're saying there's some weird stuff happening with it.
The guy's like, there's all of this stuff in this warehouse. We went to go see it. There's going to be an auction if they allow us to do it, blah, blah, blah. That was me cha-chinging. I sold an AT&T telephone for $27.99.
Proud of you. Did you hit your $1,000 mark today?
No, but I could if I wanted to.
I mean, you want to.
I don't want to force it too much. I'm good. I'm good where I am. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Anyway, so that would be really, really cool. I mean, a lot of this social media adventure started when like I found all this crazy shit in this Nike employee's house. I don't know. So I have this weird, strong connection to like Nike when it comes to social media and stuff. I don't know. I just if it does happen though. So Megan is like really into sneakers, or is she just like into like organizing sneakerheads?
She's really into eBay. Okay, my echo
She's really into what?
I can't talk to you because the echo is so bad coming from your speakers.
I don't know how to make that any better. Is it my voice or is it you talking?
When I talk and you're coming through your speakers and it's echoing back.
Okay, let me put on some headphones.
That usually helps.
Can you hear better now? Do it now.
Yeah. Well, it would be
Yes.
when I'm talking. Yeah.
It
Now.
kind of comes and goes though.
Okay. I'm gonna try to find some headphones. I left mine at the office.
But in the meantime, it sounds okay. So Megan is an event planner. So that is when I met Megan years ago, maybe 8 years ago. She was a wedding planner basically, but she did like crazy huge weddings. Seattle, New York, or not New York, Seattle, Las Vegas, and Portland. And she would do these huge wedding events, right? But that job is crazy stressful. And so she left that industry and then she went to the Art Institute. And so she did a lot of like event planning for them and was like the office manager. And then she left that job to open up Wacom's first ever like experience center. So this is like the prototype, like proof of concept experience center. No one else has ever done, like they've never had one before. Like they don't sell anything in this thing. It's literally a center where anyone can go. It's like an open community. They can use their products. They also have like really big events. Like they've had the Simpsons creator come in, Matt Groening or whatever his name is. He doesn't do like any events. He doesn't like do public things. And Megan actually got him to come in and do like a public thing at her center, which is like unheard of. Like his agent called, I guess she was telling you about it. She's like, yeah, the agent and me had to have like this long talk about like how no one was to ask him like a specific list of questions and like all of this stuff.
That's kind of funny.
But like, imagine being that guy. Like that's a lot. Like I get it.
Yeah.
So anyway, Megan loves events. So she's also like super good at talking to people. And so she met up with like some sneakerhead guys and now she just helps put on Sneaker Week. It was like, and it's like a big deal. So she also just like learns really quickly. So like, she's not necessarily into sneakers, but she learns quickly about things. So now she knows all the guys and like knows the community really well.
Yeah, she's smart.
Yeah.
And she knows how to network.
On like another level, which I'm trying to learn from her. She's very, very good at it. Like she goes to like all these crazy events. Yesterday I was supposed to go. I totally forgot about it. There was like a luncheon at WeWork for like Women's Week.
Oh yeah.
She went to it and she met like 5 people that like she told me about today that like she's like, oh, you need to talk to this person and this person. I'm just like, how do you do this?
One of my friends organized that. Crystal.
There you go, Corey. You know people too.
Crystal organized that the whole
WeWork thing.
Yeah, like. Okay. Good Lord.
Lauren left. Bye, Lauren.
Bye, Lauren. Oh my God. This is so random. Oh geez. Okay, so yeah, so that's cool. I don't understand like sneakerheads and all those kind of guys. Like I'm so like so airy in the brain sometimes. I can't. I don't get it sometimes. But
what don't you get about this?
Like the whole sneakerhead thing, you know, I just don't understand it. I don't understand why anybody cares. I mean,
why do you care about mushrooms?
I don't really care about anything.
It's a very depressing show tonight.
Oh.
Why do I like? I find mushrooms interesting. I find shoes interesting too.
Let's find my listings interesting because I
really need to list stuff. Yeah.
So I have 2 male listers, right? They're both male,
okay.
And they're listing female clothing.
Okay, that one's
that
funny.
So bad.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
My titties are totally hanging out.
I know. I wish everyone dressed like that.
also, like, look at the keywords. Comfort, formal.
Comfort. Because when I'm comfortable, I want to wear a vest like that.
And this is a very expensive piece of clothing.
Hot hippie.
It probably retailed for like $400.
What? Where do they sell a piece like that?
Nordstrom.
Oh, yeah. Ugh.
So it's wrinkly, first of all. That bothers me.
Well, I don't care. I don't have time to care about that shit.
No, yeah. I don't
Okay,
know.
I care. I hate that it's wrinkly, and I hate the keywords.
The keywords are my issue. Like,
I'm gonna screen share on my tiny screen and list stuff too. Damn it!
I'm listing too, but nobody gives a shit what I'm doing. So
Everybody cares what you're doing. What are you talking about?
no, I mean I don't need to share my listing.
what other keywords can I use for this stupid thing?
You could put no cum stains.
Brings all the boys to the yard.
Kayla,
I mean, I liked formal. Formal would be fine, I guess, or career.
What about
Career would probably be good.
what about creamy?
No,
Not creamy.
oh,
I
Dude,
would
look
spell
at
it
this
right.
thing.
Yeah,
You know what this is? Look at that.
I have no idea what that is, but I hate that there's fingers in the picture.
I do too. We're gonna have to have a talk about that.
There's
Fucking
nothing
crap.
I hate more than fingernails in a photo.
Yeah, he knows better than that too. It's like
last night when we went out with Jonathan, he was talking about like how eBay's like biggest pet peeve is fingers in photos, and how like when he's going through listings, sometimes he's just like, "Why? Like, look at that photo. Like, look at that ugly finger." I'm gonna send that to Jonathan.
gross. It makes me want to barf that there's a finger in this.
If I ever have my hands in the photo, and John from Travel and Thrift totally taught me this, you always use your hand with this side facing out, never your fingernails, unless you have like beautifully painted manicured nails.
I keep my nails manicured at all times, and so sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm holding down a tag, but my nails are always like very well manicured and like
There we go.
not.
These look like ugh.
Oh, I only have 8% battery. I have to move. How much would you price this hot hippie vest at, Hazel Hearts Vintage? You're muted. It's sad.
They usually have item numbers, so I would usually look it up and see if it's a particularly desirable piece.
It's $50.
Okay.
That's a good price.
See, I pay more for my things, so I'm usually more particular with what I list them for. But if I found everything at the bins, I wouldn't care. Like,
I paid like $8 for this.
oh,
That's money.
I'm very grumpy. Like, this is not. You didn't take a picture of the style number.
that picture looks
Yeah.
nice though.
Yeah, the picture's cool, but like, he keeps not taking all the photos that I need.
You should be able to tell exactly what it is from the pictures alone. That's what I think.
Yeah, and you can.
Like, what the fuck is this?
What is holding that up, by the way?
Fucking mug? Like, what is he doing?
Why is that hat on the mug?
I don't know. Why isn't it just on the light cube?
No, why is it on a mug? I need to know.
I do too, because like, why isn't it just sitting on the
He
light
thinks
cube?
he's being all like stylistic.
God, I would, if I saw that listing on eBay, I would literally just be like, I'd send it to you guys and be like, especially this first, okay, the fourth photo, that one. What?
It's like, hi, I'm a mug. I can't even.
I'm wearing a hat. I'm a mug wearing a hat.
A mug wearing a hat. I'm gonna put that in the listing.
Please do it. Just make someone laugh. You gotta send the mug with the hat now.
I will. It's like, sorry, dude, you put it in the pictures. I told you never to put anything in a picture that doesn't come with something.
He's like, that's my personal mug.
Yeah, that's a go to a customer.
I hope that it sells and he has to ship it. And you're like, don't forget the mug.
Wash it first.
That's a favorite mug.
That's
My
2 out
wife
of
gave me
2.
that. Nicole, did you see this Kooples dress that was in my death pile?
Oh God, yeah. I was actually looking at it earlier. It's so gorgeous.
It's amazing. It's a size 10. I think it's too big for you.
I'm a size 10, but I don't wear short dresses.
This would be a sexy date night dress though.
What is that? What is a box?
Records? Looks like
It's
records.
the original score from Star Wars from 1977.
Nobody wants that.
No shit. But I bought it in a lot of records that was basically free, so whatever.
Okay, like look at this sweater. This is my look at this. This sweater has this really cute tassel tie in the front, and he didn't tie it, and now you can't see the tassel.
Tassel.
Like, why wouldn't you tie it so you could see the cute little tassels?
Why you gotta bust my balls over here too? Like, nobody wants that. Your little schnotty attitude.
My nickname is the Ice Queen. I'm just trying to throw some ice on you.
Okay.
Hates place.
Hates place.
I mean, I was mainly joking. I thought that it was actually desirable, is what I was trying to say, because I was saying like no one wants Star Wars stuff. Everyone wants Star Wars stuff.
Exactly.
It was a joke.
No, I can't take. Oh my god! Look how terrible these are. These came out of that hoarder lady's house.
What hoarder lady?
Never mind. These came out of somebody's house.
I don't think she watches this, so it's fine. But like,
yeah, that one.
I mean, who watches this though? Really?
Exactly.
how come you don't? Okay, Corey, why don't you crop your photos?
Because it takes too much time.
We've had this discussion with him, and then he crops them for like 5 minutes, and then he forgets.
Why doesn't eBay allow you to take square photos on an iPhone?
Yeah,
That's a better question. Because then I have to crop these freaking photos.
But you know what? You know who we went out to drinks with last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you should tell him that.
I actually already did. Thank you for the advice, though.
Are you sweet, Corey? Tell Kayla what you did last night. That was so inappropriate.
That was not inappropriate. She was being rude.
Oh, to the bartender?
Yeah, the waitress was being rude, and she was being rude the whole time.
Did you smack her?
What did you say to her?
I'm not going to repeat it.
Repeat it.
No.
We don't come here for niceness.
He said, "Are you sweet?"
No, that's not how it happened, actually.
Well, then you better say it.
Oh, come on. We're mostly friends here.
I was ordering a Mai Tai, and I said, "Is it very sweet?" And she said, "Our Mai Tais are not sweet." Like in a really like in a very like it was
a
actually,
tiki bar though, so like that's just kind of like part of the ambience, like yeah.
And then I quipped, "Are you sweet?" And it was supposed to come out like, "Well, aren't you sweet?" You know, like something like I was just trying to be funny. I was trying to elevate
Did
the
it sound
mood.
like you were hitting on her though?
God, help me.
It did.
Is that what it sounded like?
Yes, that's why you were laughing.
Oh,
Just
no
the
way.
phrase itself comes off as like flirting. Like, are you sweet? Like, you know, and then you do like finger guns.
No, I didn't do anything like that. I was kind of like, "Will you leave me alone?" That's what I was trying to say. Like, can you scuttle about?
Scuttle?
Damn it.
I don't know. I found her
Yeah.
very
No,
unsavory.
yes.
Is
I
she the
just
one
don't-
you said was being salty?
What?
Was she the one you said was
Oh
being
my God,
salty?
I did it.
Yeah, extreme salt. And it was focused in a way that I just thought was not cool. I mean, there's a way to act being salty, and then there's a way of just being a bitch.
Okay, did you see the guy that didn't have a job but worked there?
No,
Were you there when we were talking about him?
no.
Okay, so there was a guy last night. I'm gonna stop screen sharing so you can see my face. There's a guy last night there, and he was like very tall and awkward. He had a really cool Hawaiian shirt on, and he kept being like, he was standing by the door, and then he'd like walk down the small path. The bar is small, so like he'd walk down this like walkway, the only walkway in the place, and then he'd kind of like walk back to the door. Every once in a while, he'd like pick a drink up off the table, but he was really awkward, and he was just always in the way.
Yeah.
And like we thought, so me and the other woman there, we were like, okay, like what is this guy's job? And we kept like trying to figure it out. Like maybe he's like the person who checks people in when they come to the bar. But like whenever someone walked in through the door, he was never standing by the door.
Yeah.
And he just was the most awkward, like in the way human, and we couldn't figure out what his job was the whole entire time. Like, what is this guy's job?
Then you found out.
No. There's no end to the story. We still don't know what his job was.
Interesting. Did you guys see these bed stew shoes?
Yeah, well, I have a bed stew pair of boots that are not selling.
Like this?
They're really nice men's ones.
Yeah, but the ladies like these are ladies, not men's, but I don't think bed stew sells as good for men as it does for women.
Really? I've only sold men's.
Kayla, what would you sell these for?
Were they men's or women's? Sorry, I
They're
missed it.
women's.
I don't know. They're really cool. Probably over $100.
Oh, they should go for over $100. They're basically new.
But how much exactly? I don't know.
There's like no. That's how the heels are. I mean, that's how the soles are. So there's just like no wear on them at all. It's pretty cool. All right.
Where'd you get those at, Corey?
I got those today at the Tinker Hatfields sale.
What else did you get there? I want to know all about this estate sale.
Oh, I got a bunch of stuff that you would probably like. She had hundreds of modern Nike pieces, like pullovers and like Lycra kind of stuff. Either like a lot of active wear. And I just filled a bag full of like good condition activewear and some vintage shirts that were there, but
were they expensive?
I put like, I don't know, I paid like $2 a piece, maybe something like that.
Oh my god, I should have gone to that sale. That sounds amazing.
I have no idea. I mean it's basically like two kind of like, imagine like two large laundry baskets full of, pretty much mint condition Nike stuff. Mostly dry fit stuff, which does pretty good for me. I mean, it doesn't have a high average sale price, but it sells pretty fast.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that it sounds like an incredible. So you didn't know, you were just going to the sale. Like, tell me about how you found the sale. I want to know like the backstory of the sale.
There is zero backstory. So I went to on my live story, you'll see I went to the first sale. It was like in this amazing house on the river.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there because I saw some perfume in the photos, and I saw some, I saw some, there was some jewelry that could have been good. And there was just some things that I just deal with, some designer handbags, some designer clothing. And so I went in and dangled around. It was like kind of a fake sale almost. They moved most of the stuff in, and I hate when they do that. It really annoys me. I want to go into a sale that's like real.
An actual estate sale, yeah.
Yes, that's why I go to them. So it was fake. I mean, I got some really, really good stuff though, just because the people who were selling the stuff in the sale didn't know what they were doing. I got that Casio, the Seiko Silver Wave for like $8. It's so they go from like $300 to $500. It's like in the original. It's dead stock. And then some weird, I don't know, it was just a weird mixture of stuff. So then I was gonna go to, I don't usually go to Boyd's sales. It was the Boyd service because they usually are like, they do sales that are more like lower middle class, working class kind of stuff, you know? And I kind of try to go to the high end because I want to get those high average sale items, you know, and have some, you know, more modern stuff. I mean, in those types of sales, you're not going to get Allen Edmonds shoes. It's just not going to happen. So I was like, oh, it seems weird. This one seems a little bit higher. There's a picture of Steve Prefontaine on the wall. There's like 5 pictures. You can look at the pictures online. They're there. There's no indication it has anything to do with anything Nike. Okay, it just has no indication. So I walk in the door and I start poking around and I find a box. So, I mean, I was going to the estate sale. It's not that I was smart or I did something different than anybody else other than actually kind of looking around. And then I find a box. I find a box that has like pins and medals and all kinds of stuff in it. And it says, and on the box, there's a sticker that just says Tinker, right? And then I kind of look around and there's all these Nike boxes, right? So I go upstairs with, you know, and before I had gone through the bedroom and I had like I found like a clothing bag and I started just to stick Nike stuff in the clothing bag because there was just so much Nike stuff. And so I just filled up this like, you know, one of those big laundry bags and put it in the front. And then I started going through the house, looking through the kitchen because I'm looking for like cookware and stuff. And then I walk into the basement. And then as I'm walking into the basement, these guys are walking out of the basement with a garbage bag, a garbage can full of like vintage tracksuits and all crazy stuff. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of dollars in value of just stuff from Oregon State in the 70s.
Oh, did your heart sink?
Yes, a vein in my neck exploded. And they didn't know.
You saw them in the house still with it, so you missed it by minutes.
I know Ross. Like I do business with Ross. So when I saw Ross's face, I was like, something's up. He only goes, like he will spend hours looking at pictures to find a single piece. Like he's nuts.
Oh, so he only goes to the best estate sales.
Yes, he only goes to the ones that have a high probability of him finding something that's like pre-1970.
So did he know?
Pre-1960.
Did he know?
No. Nope. We were talking about it, and he had gotten there just 7 or 8 minutes before me, seriously. When the sale opened at 9, but the other sale opened at 9 too. So, like I said, I walk downstairs and I find this box marked Tinker, and I walk upstairs and they're all talking like, what's going on? Where's this stuff coming from? Who is this person? Like there's obviously some importance. And then I pull out I start digging through this pile and I pull out the jacket that says Coach Hatfield, right? So I have a box that says Tinker on it and a jacket that says Coach Hatfield on it. It's from the 1982 Olympics. And I put two and two together, and I walk upstairs, and I was like, "Is this Tinker Hatfield's house? Like, what's going on here?" Like, I didn't think about it for a second. I just mentioned his name, and he was like, "No, it was his mother, I think he said his late mother. It was his mother, and you know, I know him, so he started talking to me, telling me what kind of like." It was kind of challenging, and obviously they didn't want a bunch of people there. Okay.
Right. So they didn't advertise it.
No, they didn't say anything about it, and they actually tried to hide it in the pictures, which is really weird.
No, it's not, because people would have shown up. So like people would have flown in from all over the place to go to that.
Yeah, but there wasn't that much stuff. It was her house. You know what I'm saying? Like, It was their childhood house, though. So
Yeah,
there
but
wasn't.
people would have freaked out just to have been inside of that house. That guy has like,
Oh,
even I know who that guy is, and I'm not a sneakerhead.
yeah, he's the most famous sneaker designer who's ever lived.
Right. So what I'm saying is that people would have come just to take a picture and been like, I'm in his childhood room. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just the opportunity to have been there is something that people would have freaked out about.
Yeah, but see, there's some conflict there too because I started reading because I never believe what anybody tells me. So I start to research about things, and I don't know. It said that he was more from like where Canby is, not Canby, Corvallis is. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I don't know if that it's just weird. There's totally stuff from because he was born in 1952, and there was stuff from 1965, 1966, 1970 in boxes, that didn't look like they had been moved for a very, very, very long time. And the top of the house was finished, but the bottom of the house wasn't. And it's like I don't know if that's the house he really grew up in. I don't know if that's the truth.
Well, it might have been the house she moved to.
She'd been living there a long time. We can look it up, actually. Do you want to do some in-depth
Yeah, of course I
investigation?
do. This is like my favorite part of our job.
Oh, awesome. So let's go to estatesalefinder.com and let's look at the sale because it's going to go on tomorrow as well. Estate sales. Let's go to Boyd's. 2804 Northeast. Do you want me to, I guess I should screen share this. Let me pull this up though first. Portland maps. So we can tell when they bought the house, right? You heard of Portland maps?
No, but let me see this.
I'll screen share it if you want, or if you just want to look at it.
No, screen share.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm a little bit rough in the brain right now. Screen share. Okay. So we're here at Estate Sale Finder. There's Portland maps. Let's go find Boyd's over. Oh, sorry. Estate sales. All right. This cute home features vintage clothing, furniture, Asian decor, golf clubs, instruments, blah, 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 blah.
Well, it says Hatfield right there.
I know, but it's in a random picture. Okay.
But I mean, like, they're trying to conceal it, so they put that picture up?
I know, but listen, like, that's just a picture. It just says Hatfield. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not gonna look at everything else in this house and say that you're gonna associate this with Tinker Hatfield. Seriously. I mean, maybe if you saw this, I mean, the odds of it being that. So look, everything was in the basement. Look, they just show a picture of this is upstairs. This picture is upstairs. And this picture is the basement, okay? And what's up?
What picture is the basement?
This one. See the stone,
Oh, okay.
concrete basement? Well, look. Oh, I have this starting gun, which is from Taiwan. Like Taiwan. Yeah, the some Olympic trials in Taiwan or something. I have two of those. Anyway, so maybe you could, if you were very intelligent, way smarter than I am, you would have figured that out. But look, there's a bunch of Asian stuff in here, right? Right? Bunch of Asian stuff. And then look, like some hats and some random crap. Like
wait, there's shoes.
yeah, there's a pair of shoes, but those are modern. Those aren't that old. A starting gun. I mean, honestly, I don't know how you would make that connection. Look, there's barely anything in here. I mean, and Tinker Hatfield didn't, like I said, didn't work for Nike until way after, but like, so there's like all, like, see, look, like all the tracksuits and all of the crazy stuff that was down there. It's not even in these pictures.
No.
You know? So this is the picture that when I saw it, I was like, oh, what's going on? This is what sparked my interest. This Prefontaine poster. If I didn't see that picture, I wouldn't have gone into the house. I was like, why is there a picture of Pre on the wall? That's weird. And so looking at it, so let's say you're looking at tons and tons of estate sales, okay? Do you think you're gonna make the determination that this is the house that Tinker Hatfield may have grew up in? I'm really
Absolutely.
serious. What?
No.
Exactly. So, I mean, everybody has like old Nikes in their house, right?
Yeah.
There's like no like the running memorabilia that I got from like the 60s and 70s. None of it's in any of these pictures. When I looked at these, you know what the first thing I saw when I looked at this? I saw the Prefontaine poster in this Vitamix.
You're like, I'm gonna go buy that Vitamix. What about that Pendleton? What is that like? What is that?
It's fake. It's this fake pen. Look, there's another one here. See it? It's this whatever this brand is. It wasn't real. But I did find it. Yeah. I mean, anybody could just have like something that had to do with this in Portland. I mean, people work for Nike, and Tinker Hatfield works for Nike, and you know, it doesn't. It's not. It's not as clear as it may seem, but maybe I'm just don't.
So
I'm
what
just,
is the house? What does the house look like? Is it like a nice house?
It's a tiny little house, tiny, tiny, tiny. No top floor, just a bottom, 2 bedrooms at the bottom, 2 bedrooms on the main floor, and then an unfinished basement. Just a very, very simple house. You could never, because he had two siblings, and there's no way you could have.
Yeah, he wasn't raised in that house.
Hell no. But that's what the guy told me, and I'm like, dude, there's no way the guy was raised in this house.
No, like you didn't have 3 kids in a 2-bedroom. I don't think that.
Exactly. No, and they weren't. I don't believe that they were.
They did all right, right? Like he went to
Yeah,
college and like.
Absolutely. Yeah, they traveled all over the world.
So she might have like.
There's the owner, Sharon Hatfield. See? And
It was what, less than 1,000 square feet?
it's very small. Yeah, see? 970. It says it was built in the year 1925. That's pretty cool. Let's see. We should be able to see when it was sold.
97.
No, that's when it was assessed. Oh, you're right. So it was bought. Yeah, so she moved into it in 1997.
Oh my God, look at that. $500,000 house though.
Oh, is it up for sale?
Market value is $472,000.
How is that even possible?
Northeast 35th?
I know, but it's like it's an apartment. It's not even a house.
Yeah, but have you not seen that neighborhood? Like
I drive through that neighborhood every single day.
well,
Yes, I know.
insane right now. You can't buy houses.
I know. I'm sorry, my brain isn't functioning properly right now. I apologize.
But I mean, like she only bought this house 20 years ago.
Exactly.
It's already more than doubled her
More
the
than doubled. Yeah, exactly. 145,000 in 1997. More than doubled. 290,000 would be double.
Look at that though. I love it. Assessed value. It's really only worth 182, but because the market is so crazy, it's 472.
It should be $182,000. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So yeah, so she moved into it in 1997. But there's a lot of information here, and there's a lot of information out in the world, but pretty cool. So you can see that there's the owner, Sharon Hatfield. But the other sale I went to was this one. And they had taken stuff out of the house. That's one of my other pet peeves. They had taken tons of stuff out of the house. I went to buy like electronics and some other stuff. I did get a lot of stuff, but there was just different stuff. Like the stuff that was in these pictures wasn't there, and it was like different things, and I don't know. I just don't like when they do that. Anyway, this one doesn't look good at all now. Now that I'm looking at it again,
You mean like the one we drove to Seattle for?
that one could have been good. That's the problem with that one.
Yeah, but they clearly like put shit in that house.
Yes. Yeah, like how could you there was no you couldn't get to a bathroom. That's what really annoys me. Ugh, I get really annoyed with that.
That house was so like, and then the basement was just literally trash.
Yeah, trash. And they were like very annoying with the like I wouldn't I just it was just way too much nonsense for no reason, you know? It's like, let's make this as hard of a buying experience as possible. That's what it felt like. Anyway, are you listing stuff right now?
I'm looking up Tinker Hatfield for no
Right.
reason.
Okay, wait, screen share. Why aren't you screen sharing?
Well, I looked up his mom first.
So check her out. What's up with her mom? What did you find her? I don't think she's like famous or anything.
No, but I wanted to see like. Hold on, let me just get the actual. Let me screen share the right page first. Sure. Okay, so first I looked up mom, and I was like, okay, like, does it say anything about her dying? Like, what's her deal? But I think this is her because it looks like him.
So I did like like one of those Spokio searches or whatever, the free search, and it said she was 85. I didn't see anything about her passing. God rest her soul if she has.
There's not. I'm not really finding anything. Mm.
What are you not finding? Oh, anything about Sharon?
Yeah,
Maybe
and
she
trying to see
remained.
like if they were all coaches.
Yep. He had a brother and a sister.
Yeah.
His sister's older. His brother's younger. His younger brother works at Nike. His name is Toby. He's pretty well known as well. I don't know what he does now, but I'm pretty sure he still works for Nike. He designed stuff too. He was a designer.
Yeah, he grew up in Halsey.
Halsey, where's
Halsey in Lynn County, Oregon.
Okay, so isn't Lynn County like, isn't that where like Canby is and all that stuff?
Yeah.
I've never heard of, what was the name of it? What was it?
Halsey.
Like the street.
Yeah, like the street.
Interesting. Have you ever heard of Halsey, Oregon?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
It's interesting that his mom would live in such a small house because you would think that he would take care of her, you know?
Well, maybe she took care of herself pretty well, and people would come to visit. It was a house that, like, there was an open room, so it was her bedroom, and then an open room to have guests or whatever, you know? That was like the whole house. So I'm sure that was the case.
Oh, instead of maybe going into like a care facility or something, she just had a smaller house.
Maybe.
Because she would have been there when she was 60, so that makes sense.
Yeah, the house, I mean, obviously for one person, and very, very tidy, very organized, and upstairs, but downstairs was just like, maybe they would both live there. Maybe Sharon and somebody else lived there. Because there was a bunch of like, I don't want to be chauvinistic and say man stuff, but it was like stuff that she obviously didn't even want to touch. See what I'm saying? She didn't touch it. It was like tools and boxes and nails and, you know, stuff like that. and it hadn't
Well,
been touched in 20 years. Seriously, 20 years.
well, when did his dad die?
I don't know. I don't even know what his dad's name is. Oh, his name is his. I'm sorry, his dad's name was Tinker. I do know what his dad's name is. He was Tinker Jr. I know that sounds. I don't know where that name came from, but Shimes. Are you still looking at stuff? Because
Of course I am. I get like super sucked into this stuff.
you keep going. I'm gonna post this. I'm trying to get some stuff listed. Feels boring.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
It just says like there's not a lot about his family, except that his father was very like well renowned in sport coaching.
Yeah, his dad was like a super famous. His dad's associated with like everything that happened. Like, Bill Bowerman is a huge name, right? It's very likely that they knew each other quite well. And everything came from Bill Bowerman's the link to everything that happened with Nike. I mean,
I don't know who that is.
Bill Bowerman, look it up. The moon shoe was found buried in Bill Bowerman's yard. The famous Nike moon shoe. You've heard of it? This is the one where they made them with like the waffle machine or whatever. The iconic Nike shoe. They tore down Bill Bowerman's house at the time that he was like hanging out with Phil Knight and found the shoe buried in the yard, and it sold for like 5 G's.
Wait,
You haven't
what?
heard about this?
You cut out when I was trying to do my search. My computer froze. So what happened? Bill, who is he?
Bill Bowerman. Just let's go through Nike history on the Mighty Mushroom Show.
Yeah, why not?
Reezy told me I have crazy eyes.
You do. It's fine.
Yeah, a little bit.
God damn it. I'm self-conscious about that.
Okay, well, don't be. But let's talk about Bill Bowerman. So tell me about him.
So he was a coach at Oregon and the University of Oregon, and he was like Steve Prefontaine's coach. Like he was like Phil Knight's coach. He was like, it was like when all this stuff came together, Bill Bowerman was the guy who was the meat on the sandwich, right? And he was, when was he a coach? He passed. Okay. Bill Bowerman trained 31 Olympic athletes, 51 All-Americans, 12 American record holders, 22 NCAA champions, and 16 sub 4-minute milers. So he trained 16 people how to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. He was a coach for 24 years at the University of Oregon, and he invented the Cortez and the waffle racer.
Oh, wow.
So you can see that. Okay, so Bill Bowerman was, when was he? Okay, coaching career. So it should be, right there in that range in the 70s. Bowerman created a training program for adjusting athletes for the high altitude they would expect in the Mexico City Olympic Games. The successful program led to his selection as the 1972 Munich Olympic track and field head coaching position. Holy shit, I didn't know that. That bag that I sold was from the 1972 Munich Olympics, by the way. And they had the whole Munich massacre where like the PLO shot a bunch of like Israeli dudes or whatever.
What?
Yeah, you don't know about all this stuff? Nike is embroiled in weird history. So I want to read it. Okay, there you go. So Athletics West is an American running team formed by Bill Bowerman, Phil Knight, and Jeff Hollister in 1977. That tracksuit that you saw on Instagram that like blew me up on Instagram was an Athletics West, and it was from the early 80s.
I know Athletics West. Like I know that's like a
Yeah,
thing and like to look for it.
absolutely. And then it all of this inspired this crazy running boom. I mean, obviously Steve Prefontaine, it was just like this blend of things that was happening, but it was right there. Okay, so here you go. Bowerman's design inspiration led to the introduction of the so-called moon shoe in 1972, so named because the waffle tread was said to resemble the footprints left by astronauts on the moon. So when they tore down Bill Bowerman's house to like rebuild it or do whatever, they found an actual prototype of the shoe buried in his yard, and it went up for auction. It sold for $5,000.
Why the hell was it in his yard?
He just buried it probably because they didn't want anybody to see it. I don't know.
The bin pickers found a Prefontaine waffle at the bins in Hillsboro.
Jesus Christ.
They had no idea what it was. They just knew that it looked cool and that it was old, and so they bought it. They put it on auction, literally still didn't know what it was. And they were like, why is this going crazy? I think they sold it for $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah, that's in the range of. So there was an ad, and I think it was Bill Bowerman. I could be wrong. It could be because he appeared in some of the ads. It wasn't Steve Prefontaine, but it was another famous runner, coach, or athlete. That bag that I sold is in the same picture as a pair of like special edition Cortez for the 72 Olympics. And that pair of 72 Cortez, it doesn't matter if they're associated with anybody, they are $5,000. Okay. I mean, it's like, and then if they've been used, like if you had a pair that Steve Prefontaine wore, I mean, they could be worth $20,000, $30,000. I mean, think of Steve Prefontaine he's like the king of running and running sports. He
Well, and
died.
his death was just like so crazy, you know?
Well, yeah, behind a lot of athletes, there's like a crazy parents.
No, his death. Like, so like, wouldn't he just like randomly die?
No, he was drunk and he ran into a pole.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
but
thought this story was way better.
no, he was kind of a badass, I guess.
I mean, that's how you become famous, I guess. But like, so he was drunk driving and that's how he died? I thought he died just like between matches or like there was some, that sucks.
I know they made some movies and stuff about him. He's like an idol to a couple friends of mine who are runners, but it says Prefontaine died in May 1975 at age 24 in an automobile accident in Eugene. But okay, there you go. So he was pronounced dead. It was reported that his blood alcohol content found by the police department in Eugene was 0.16. So double that's pretty high, you know.
Yeah.
It's pretty high. But I mean, kids in college and that kind of age drink like a lot all the time. So, I mean, drunk driving wasn't like a thing like it is now.
Right, where it was like a horrible thing, right?
Yeah, this social taboo. But yeah, so pretty crazy. Prefontaine was recruited by several top track programs across the United States, but decided to enroll at the University of Oregon to train under Bill Bowerman, who in 1964 co-founded Blue Ribbon Sports, later known as Nike. Do you know they used to import Onitsuka Tigers and rebrand them?
I heard about this.
Yeah, so that was what Blue Ribbon Sports was. They would just like make Onitsuka Tigers, which is made by ASICS, cooler.
Yeah.
And then in 1972, they had developed their own shoe or whatever. But that's what Phil Knight was doing, right? Phil Knight was importing the shoes and selling them like he does now. And then Bill Bowerman was like, "Hey, we need to like innovate. Like, we're not gonna this isn't gonna work if you're just selling something somebody's just already making or whatever. Oh shit. Oh,
What?
nice. That Gucci perfume that I posted for $129.99 5 seconds ago just sold.
Full price.
Full price.
Oh shit. That's
You're over 1,000.
It's 11.19. Let me see.
good job.
Am I screen sharing right now? Okay, no.
No.
Hold on. Let me see if I'm at 1,000. Hold on. I think I got it. Oh Lord. I'm gonna be so happy. Oh, 1,035.23.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Doing a dance. So that's the power of listing, folks, in the chat. Also, there is some power in listing things that are actually valuable and not junk. Even though people buy junk on eBay, there's one of the coolest and weirdest stories about things I've sold on eBay. I went to this estate sale and the lady collected Rosie O'Donnell stuff. And it was obvious that she had been on the show several times. And when you go on the show, they give you a gift.
Yeah.
A gift for being in the audience. Well, she
Right.
had these audience gifts. And she had 2 of these Duncan yo-yos that had Rosie O'Donnell on them. And I was like, I couldn't find anything like it. So I was like, fuck it, I'm putting them for $100 each. Okay, I put them up for $100 each, and they sold in less than 5 minutes. Okay, and I had over 20 emails from people asking me if I had any more.
Why?
That's bizarre.
I don't know. I'm not kidding either. So I bought them for 25 cents a piece, and they sold for $100 in seriously less than. I mean, I'm not joking. Less than 5. Like that Gucci just sold. That fast. Bam. That's why I like perfume too. Perfume is awesome. It sells so fast. So when you have that Gucci Envy is discontinued, it probably I could probably get 159 for it if I waited a few days. But if I posted at slightly below market, like 129, because I got it at a great price, it sells fast.
Well, people have searches out for that stuff.
Exactly, especially the rare stuff that it's hard to find. So I wouldn't have sold it if I didn't put it at that price tonight. I'm almost certain. But what were we saying? Where did I go tangentially here? Shit. Okay. Yeah. So Rosie O'Donnell. If you find Rosie O'Donnell memory, there were some other things like some little toys or something, some koosh balls. They were Rosie O'Donnell koosh balls. $70 a piece.
No.
$70 a piece. And they weren't in the packages. They were out of the original. They were screen printed or whatever. Okay, let me see, because those I actually found. Rosie O'Donnell koosh.
What is wrong? I don't understand this.
Here's one. Rosie O'Donnell koosh.
Screen share.
You just look it up real quick. Then I have to go back and screen share. Yeah, see, these are significantly less than they were going for last summer. That's funny. Rosie O'Donnell fling. These might be a commercial ones though. Oh yeah, see 1997. Look, these are pencils. Are you looking here? I'll screen share. Jesus Christ.
Oh, because she used to fling them. That's right.
Yeah. Okay, I have no idea. I don't know, but I'm there's a pencil with a little koosh ball from the show sells for $20. It's a pencil.
She used to fling them into the crowd. It was a thing she did when she came on stage.
Okay. So I wonder if there was like something about the episode that those um
They're not going for much now.
yeah, no, they're not. But I don't think that those are all the or like this was flung during the show, I think. You see what like there's like those are ones that are packaged. These were
Right.
from the show,
Oh.
right? So you can't see you can see that the stuff that you're looking at is obviously not from the show. Like this is a pencil that was probably sold in a store and it's $10 because you see they have 5 available.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder how I'd look up like other show gift. There's
I think
nothing.
just like a lot of that stuff doesn't come up very often.
No, I was like, why? I just it it doesn't like why would anybody even want that? I mean, I just don't even like are there that many Rosie O'Donnell collectors or was there somebody on the show that gives the significance to that? You know what I'm saying? Like why? I guess I could have asked somebody. Maybe I did. Maybe I asked one of the people who asked me like, "Why do you want these?" And it's like, I need it for my collection. You know, like it's a piece that's missing from my collection.
So weird. Like the stuff that people want, you know?
The stuff that I buy and sell, I mean, even at estate sale companies, I'm like known as like the crazy guy who just comes in and buys everything. That is my reputation.
Like, how would you even know to pick something like that up?
I just have a gift. I don't know. What, like, are you asking me why? Or are you asking the general public why?
I'm asking you specifically.
Okay, cool. So when I see something and it has like a weird energy to it or a weird like vibe, or I know that sounds like hippie-ish, like I'll walk into a room and things like are like, "Hi, hey, I'm over here." And then I go over there and I'm like, "What are you doing over here?" And it's like, "Hi, I'm a Rosie O'Donnell Duncan Yo-Yo." Like, that's peculiar. Why would there be a Duncan Yo-Yo that was embossed with the Rosie O'Donnell show? It must be from the show. Hmm, that's what I thought. They were also a quarter.
I mean, I love it, please. Like, I think it's great.
So, like today, the gold that I sold today to make that crazy $1,000 number, I walked into an estate sale and there was nothing in the sale, like overpriced VCRs and dusty old vacuum cleaners for $40, and it was like completely ridiculous. And I was like, I made the assumption that everything would be overpriced, but then I walked over to the jewelry cabinet and there was that 14 karat gold pumpkin, and it had a price tag of either 37.50. It's 10 grams of 14 karat gold. 14 karat gold is around $28 a gram. So then I asked the lady, "How did you come up with this price?" And she was like, "Oh, I just kind of know." And I was like, "What do you mean you just kind of know?" I just kind of know. And I was like, "Okay, awesome. Uh, Give me everything in this case." Just give me everything. So there was a bunch of gold that was unmarked, and it was 14 karat gold. And it was an over an ounce of 14 karat, just 14 karat gold that was just made by an artist of some sort. These were custom pieces.
How much do you pay for it?
I paid $300 for 1.25 ounces of 18 and 14 karat gold. Approximate value is like not quite 13, maybe like 1,200.
Oh, wow.
But it's instant money. So today I was like, shit, I'm not hitting my goal. I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna weigh this stuff out and see if I can get a bite. So I put a smaller first lot on, and then I found a buyer, and then I checked his like reputation, and then I said, hey, I have some more. Do you want some more? I'm gonna put another 13 grams for sale. And he said, yeah, awesome. So then I said, okay, put a watch on. I dropped it. I put it a little bit higher than market, and then he made me an offer for about 5% below market, and I took the offer.
That's so cool though. So and then they went to the same person, so which is fantastic.
Yeah, gold is weird. You got to be careful. Obviously, like you're saying it's gold, and then they get something, and then you really need to know who to deal with a little bit. There are some unscrupulous buyers on eBay for sure. There's
Oh,
some unscrupulous sellers too.
who will say it's not gold when they get it, and then
Exactly. And then send you back rocks in a box. um, but yeah, so that was pretty cool. And so I mean, some of the pieces are very artistic and just beautiful, like red corals and some what do you call the cameos? I gave my wife the rose cameo, um, and all that stuff. I mean, it was crazy. Like she had a cameo with what I would consider a value of between $400 and $500, 18 karat gold, 17 grams total, including the stone, um, for $55 or $45. I mean,
so how much did you spend in total for all this stuff?
I spent $300 and I got one, but I got some silver with that too. I got about 5 ounces of silver. So in there, I have a cuff. It's a Navajo cuff from 1940s, 1950s, signed by the artist, carved intaglio. With a Native American on a horse, like walking into the sunset, and with all the patterns and stuff. And it's a known Native American artist. So, but at the same sale, a VCR was $30. It's just like they just don't make sense. It's just like how Goodwill doesn't make sense. Like you walk into one Goodwill and a dirty shirt's $18, and you walk into the next one and a pair of Ferragamo shoes is $2.99.
Well, it could be the same Goodwill that happened at. Let's be real. Like,
It's true.
I mean, I found those teaks. I found teaks. They're like $6, and they literally sell for $150 all day long. But everything else in that store was like, there was $25, $30 dresses, $20 like bullshit no one wants. And everyone's like, well, your Goodwills are too expensive. And I was like, there's always a gem though. Like there's always something. And you just have to be able to know brands and market better than the people who are pricing this stuff.
Exactly. These were $12.99 at the Goodwill on Broadway. These are like this shoe costs $400 new. Okay. And in this condition, yeah, there's some wear on it. I could make it into a $200 shoe, but it's probably more like a $140 shoe at this point. But I mean, I find that all day. Anytime I walk into it, there's very few times, like, you always strike out. You strike out sometimes, but it's like let's say 9 out of 10 times, you just find something where you're like, oh my gosh, how did this end up here? And the thing is that they don't have the workload, the ability to handle the workload. There's so many donations coming in, and their staff is overworked and underpaid. So it's kind of like somebody sorts through the stuff and says, this is this box and this is that box, It's no skin off their back. If they sell a Picasso that somebody donated to them for $50, it's no skin. There's no risk in their product. Their product is labor.
No, absolutely. Like that's God, it's still so crazy to me though. Like that people donate this stuff in droves.
They faster than they can process it. They donate it faster than they can process it. That is the craziest part. When I tell people what I do for a living and how, so many people ask me to help them get rid of stuff. And I usually before I would kind of tell people no in a polite way.
Yeah.
Because the problem is people think a lot of the times, like either they donate it or they think it's like worth a lot of money. Like sentimental value is not monetary value.
Right. People don't understand that.
Yeah, but you don't find a lot of stuff at Goodwill that seems like it has a lot of sentimental value. I mean, a lot of this stuff is junk. Really?
Well, that's why I sell clothing, because it's not. Most people aren't. The clothing doesn't have a lot of sentimental value.
No.
But
No.
people like to spend money on it. So.
Well, people like to change their fashion. It's easy to process. It's lightweight. You can take returns on it for credit really easily because people are going to return it, If something's wrong with it, you just dispose of it. It's easy to dispose of. Electronics are hard to dispose of, right? They contain toxic chemicals and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So, I don't know. It seems Goodwill keeps saying that their donations are increasing, like 20% per year. But I don't understand that why are their prices going up if their donations are going up? That makes sense?
Right. I don't understand what's happening with Goodwill right now. They're going to hit a point where they do. I feel like that's why our bins are so good, though, because they have gotten to that point where they're so greedy that they're not selling things at the regular store as much as they were.
Well, okay, so at the store that I really like, the Broadway store, there's just been nothing on the shelf. There's just nothing. So today, a lady rolled up in a minivan while I was there. Like I was parking, she rolled up in a minivan and she had Goodwill tubs, and they were taking the tubs out of the store and putting them in the back of her minivan, like those little crates. So they're obviously shuttling things away from that store pretty regularly. They were doing it in a giant Goodwill truck, but this was like a little minivan. She loaded like eight. They loaded eight, like IKEA size, the ones that the ones that they use at Goodwill. The gray ones that shut with the teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they loaded like 8 of those very carefully into her van, and she drove off. She did not drop anything off. So what I think that they're doing now, and I think that they're doing this everywhere, is they are just skimming. They're skimming as much value off the top as they possibly can and sending it to central processing, no matter where it comes from. So just because donations come into a specific store, they don't stay there. Like
No.
maybe nothing even stays there. I don't know.
I've actually heard that nothing stays in there. So they go through it there, and then anything that's going to get sold actually goes to central processing, and then they distribute it from there.
Yeah, that makes much more sense. But they used to put donations out at Broadway, right?
Right.
So now it's like you can't buy electronics there. Like I used to make $1,000 a week, $1,000 a week in profit on sales going to that Goodwill twice a week, because everything that came in would basically go onto the floor. I mean, there's some product classes that you'll just never see at Goodwill that come in. They're, like high-end CB radios, like Motor Bros. They're called Motor Bros, Motorola Motor Bros. They're like $400 or $500. And they exist. They're out there. You'll never see one on the shelf of a Goodwill generally, but stuff like that used to come out all the time, like Bang & Olufsen speakers, and you don't see any of that. You don't see like the receivers and the speakers at Goodwill anymore, like the bins. The receivers used to go to the bins. They don't go there anymore. So
Where do they go?
I don't know. I think they've contracted out somebody to deal with their electronics that have circuit boards and stuff in them, because it's not coming out at the bins anymore. Did I tell you about how I bought a laser beam at the bins that you could etch silicon chips with, and I called the company who made it here in Oregon, and the guy tried to buy it back from me, and he said if I turned it on, it would burn out everybody's eyes in the room because it was an infrared laser and it made like a frequency that would like melt your eyeballs.
Oh my God! Why was it at the bins?
It was at the bins. I bought it for scrap at the bins. Mm-hmm. I bought.
Okay, so what happened? Tell me this whole story. So what did you sell it to him?
No, he offered me $25 for it.
someone.
Only 25.
Yeah. And I said, well, it must not be, he's like, well, here's the thing. Are you a computer scientist? No. It has he's like, it has an encrypted control board key, so you would need a power supply and the key. Now, I'm willing to give you $25 for it, so we can get it back, but you'll never figure out how to use it. And I said to him, well, I talked to this guy on the internet, and I was totally like, I was bullshitting.
Fucking with him.
I was talking with a guy on the internet. He said like he could get it working in probably a couple of days. It's like, where'd you find him? On this laser forum.
What did he say? He was like, okay, bye.
He was like, I'm going to tell you this. If you turn it on, you're in violation of federal law.
What?
Yes. He's like, you cannot legally turn that on. So do what you want. But if you turn it on, this is what he said. If you turn it on, it'll be like weird science. That's what he said.
What?
Yeah.
No, he did not. Did you give a straight? Did you laugh?
I was trying to make money at the time. Like, I was trying to get this guy to buy it for me.
I know. Okay, so why did you call them to begin with?
Because I wanted to know how to use it.
Okay, so you called the guy and you're like, hey, I need to know how to use this thing. And then he was like, you can't use it, but I'll give you some money for it.
He's like, listen, can you read me these numbers on it? He's like, yeah. I said, these are the numbers. He's like, oh God. He said something like, oh God. He's like, oh God, how did you get that? And I said, well, I got it at the Goodwill bins. I said, I got it at the Goodwill bins. He's like, what is that? He's like, well, where the Goodwill like puts out their garbage that nobody takes.
Oh my God.
And he said, you can't own that. And I said, I have the receipt for it. Just said it like that. Like, I have the receipt for it. I definitely can own it.
He still tells this story to his friends.
I have the receipt for it. And he's like, okay, what do you want? And I was like, I was hoping you might want to buy it, or maybe you knew somebody who needed parts for it or whatever. He's like, it's very dangerous, okay? It's used for etching. It's used for etching silicone chips, and it can melt rocks. He's like, it can melt rocks. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. I said something like that.
Yeah, and he was just like, I gotta get this shit.
Yeah.
Also, look at you right now. If he could see you right now, he'd be like, I can't believe you have like little kid headphones on.
You obviously cannot be trusted with heavy machinery. I mean, let's be honest.
And like a laser that could. Okay, and so what happened after this? So he said
he basically, he was very rude. I mean, he was notably upset. He was like,
how did this get out of his lab, basically?
he was actually the inventor of this laser. And he's like, these are proprietary. They can't be sold. They can't be bought. They're protected by many, many patents. Wherever you bought it from, it doesn't matter because you can't buy it. It is protected by a type of patent so that you cannot buy it.
Yeah.
Unless you have our permission. And so he went on to explaining it, and I was still like, well, whatever, dude. Like,
And yet here we are.
That's just like,
I have the receipt.
That's just like your opinion, man.
You literally told the dude, I have the receipt.
Yes, I told him that. And then he got like frustrated, and he was like, listen, I'll give you $25 for it. And I said, it's like 40 pounds of aluminum. That's like at least $80 or so. I said something like that. I was like, that's at least $80. And he like went on and blah 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 blah. And he's like, I'll come and get it. I'm not. It was like out of principle. He was like, out of principle, I'm not going to pay you for it. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like,
So what did you do with it?
I'm paying you the $25 to come and bring it to me. What did I end up doing with it?
Yeah.
My friend, my ex-business partner, I kind of gave it to him. I mean, I didn't give it to him. He kind of stole it. It was in our office, and he moved and just took it.
Watch out, I want DDoS.
It's actually worthless. It has no value. You seriously cannot. The guy was telling the truth. Like, you cannot get it to work. It didn't have.
Okay. But,
Why
like,
would I want that?
why did you buy it to begin with?
Because it was so peculiar and it seemed really, really expensive.
What?
And I actually put it up for sale. I put it up for eBay on eBay for $1,000.
What
Okay,
happened?
it didn't sell. And people kept asking me all these crazy questions. Is the Y emitter translucent to the schmegel bobber? And like, I got all these weird ass
You
questions.
should have given all these people this weird guy's phone number and been like, I don't know, call this guy.
Well,
He
that,
knows
that
all about it.
no, that came after when I couldn't sell it on eBay. I was like, okay, well, these people are asking me all these weird questions. Like maybe they got. I mean, I didn't know what the fuck it was. Come
And
on.
so you called the actual company and you were just like, yo,
Yeah, they're
tell me
here in
about your laser.
Oregon. They're in Oregon. They invented like they have like 1,000 patents. They have like dozens of patents in laser technology. They were
Okay,
like one
well,
of the
patents are weird. Brian Burke has a patent for eBay feedback.
eBay feedback.
Has a patent.
Ugh. Yeah, no, patents are weird, but these are not patents for eBay feedback. They're patents for laser technology.
Oh God, I wish you could have recorded that phone call so bad. Oh God, why does this kid have this laser? Like it should not have left the lab. Who took the laser? You know,
Oh God. You can see his hand on his forehead. Oh God, where did you get this?
I had the receipt.
He's like, I'm very concerned.
You
Like-
can't own this. Well,
So
I have the
was he the
receipt.
person who answered the phone?
Yeah. Somebody patched me over to him. I said, "Hey, I have this thing, or whatever, an EPK 5000, and I have a technical question or whatever." And they patched me over to the dude, and he was like the dude, like it was his office.
And then he was just like,
You have to
someone
imagine,
said,
like, imagine you paid these are like $1 million lasers, right?
yeah.
Like when they're like millions of dollars, and this is like the laser scientist who's is like when you buy $1 million lasers, you get the $1 million laser scientist on the phone, I guess.
Well, also they don't sell these, so like
Exactly.
he probably thought it was a prank phone call when he got off. He was probably like, "This isn't real."
Totally. And maybe to this day he thinks it was a prank, but the laser exists.
Also, he wanted to know how the laser got out of the office.
It was probably somebody who went out of business and there are a foreclosure or a lease that ended or whatever. Think about it, it was like an office closes down in Portland and they got to get rid of the stuff because they're going to demolish the building. They just bring it to Goodwill or they call Goodwill to come and get it. It's very easy that it could have gotten there. Bankrupt company.
Tech companies are weird. So I worked at Intel with Joe for a very short period of time because I hated that job, right? So, but we worked in this lab that was like a test and development lab. So we were testing. Joe was like a manufacturing engineer on the line, so he helped like develop processes, and I was like a person who ran boards. Essentially, it was boring. Joe did funner stuff than me.
Yes.
Point of the story is that like we were making cool stuff though, but like the way that they dispose of stuff is so rinky dink. So like I would have to like take some stuff out to like the disposal dock. And it was literally just Gaylord. So like literally like Gaylords full of old pieces of electronics like that Intel just had on a dock and someone would just come pick up and dispose of. Like, and I always thought like somebody could just take this shit.
They probably wouldn't mind if somebody took the shit.
No, because it was stuff from a test and development lab at Intel. That,
but they destroy it so that you can't mess with it.
No.
You're saying they're dumping full chips out there, full experimental chips.
I'm saying they're dumping shit, like crazy shit out there.
Because the Chinese would just be like the Chinese government would just send spies to like hang out and like go through Intel's garbage.
I don't understand like the way they just. There was like some chips though. Like one time, a guy came in the middle of the night with a suitcase and like flew there and then flew back to New Mexico, like just to get a chip that we had built.
Oh yeah. I'm sure like being the first to have that kind of chip in like foreign countries and stuff
We like worked the overnight shift. So like, yeah, he like literally flew in and came to the overnight shift because it was like such a secret, like big deal.
Some chips, early chips, it was like illegal to export them out of the United States because they had like information that was considered like they had the processing power that was considered to be like national, like crucial for national security. So like the chips that could process like PGP encryption and stuff like that. Yeah, you weren't supposed to take those out of the country. Yeah, Intel's a crazy company. I mean, it's called Intel, like intelligence.
Also, like, can I just say, like, the
Surveillance?
lab that was doing all of this is in like the weirdest part. Like, you would never expect it to be where it is, which I guess makes sense. But like,
You get it right.
yeah, it was a weird job. It was a very weird period of my life.
I mean, what exactly did you do?
I can't tell you.
Oh, cool. You have to kill me.
Yeah, but I worked. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say I worked at an Intel like test and development lab, but like
That's okay.
Exposed.
But I guess I can say like I worked on so my machine that I worked on was the machine that puts the solder onto the chips.
Oh, whoa.
Not onto the chips, onto the boards. Sorry.
Yeah, onto the boards, the motherboards.
Yeah, so and then the chips get placed on by pick and place. But so I worked on a DEC machine, DEK. I wonder if I can look at a picture.
Sounds terrible.
It was
So boring.
it was cool.
It was cool. Ugh. By the way, Griff at eBay Open was giving the class about how to take good photos.
What?
That's ironic.
Wait, what?
You want me to repeat myself?
Yeah, my thing like cut out.
Oh, I said like you were talking about Griff's photos in the we were talking about the thing I bought from him. He was doing the photo class, how to take proper photos class at the eBay Open.
Yeah, Brian said he was very surprised at that situation. Okay, so look at this is what I worked on. I'll show you. I'll screen share the thing I worked on. So this was what I actually like worked on. So I basically ran boards through one of these machines.
Hold on. Ew, whoa.
So mine was like.
It prints the circuit onto the board with.
So you put the board in through here, and then in here is all the paste, and then the paste would go across, basically like screen printing, like with the big squeegee back and forth.
Yeah, printing this thermal paste or whatever on there.
Yeah, and so what I had to do basically was like, since it was test and development, like I would have to go and like try and program the right like pressure, and like we were developing how they would run in an actual like fab. So
yeah, so it's like a prefab. You're developing like the prefab model so that you can go and
right. So I was the person who actually like would like mess around and see like what pressure we should use for the machines and like take all the data, and like it was actually I should have had a college degree for what I was doing, but I knew someone who got me the job.
That's what you shouldn't say on
Friends.
Whatever. But yeah, so this is pretty much what I worked on. It was cool.
Yeah, I don't. Ugh. I couldn't deal with that.
It was very. Oh, that's my PayPal information. There you go.
Boring.
I'm
not that smart, so I get bored really quick.
It was boring for me. It was a lot. It was intense.
Because you're sitting at that machine for like hours on end, I'm sure.
Well, and you're also like having to figure out how that machine is supposed to work on like a grand scale. And I had this really good trainer, and then he got hit by a car and died. And so like,
holy shit.
Yeah, he was really young, and it was like the anniversary of his wedding anniversary, like the 1-year wedding anniversary was the next day. He was leaving work, and he worked our campus. He lived like he walked to work. His house was like right across the street. And so he left work and he was walking home. A mom like had turned around in the car to like hand her child the cup that the kid lost or whatever. And she ran the red light and hit him and he died.
Good God.
So after that, I like had a really, he was my trainer. Like he was like the person I was really close with. And yeah, that sucked.
Thanks. Weird. I've never. I mean, I've worked for some small, big companies. I guess I've worked for big companies, but I worked for Louisiana Pacific for a little while. That's like probably the biggest company I ever worked for. God, that was horrifying. I don't even know what I don't even know what I would expect from working for a company like eBay. Because it's so big.
I mean, you're in like modules basically, right? So like it's so big, but it's not like even like your budget is big. So every business unit is like its own small business, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's compartmentalized.
Yeah. And so like it doesn't feel like you're working for this huge corporation, depending on like who your like the hierarchy is.
Yeah. Guess that makes sense. I mean, I worked in a small office for a really, really big company, and yeah, it felt like it was seriously like being on The Office.
Yeah, that's how it was. Like even so, I worked night shift, so we worked 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And like my shift was awesome. And like because we were night shift, and because like the engineers who were like in charge of the builds wouldn't come in at night, like we basically would only work maybe like an hour or two every night because like no one wanted to come in if there was an issue. And like basically they were 24-hour, they were contracted by the way you got money into the lab was like Intel had to fund you basically, which is weird, right? Like Intel funding Intel. But so they were contracted to be a 24-hour 7 lab. But they didn't really have work for night shift necessarily, but they had to have a night shift because that's what they had funding for.
Yeah. It makes
So
sense.
weird, but you're
Weird.
thinking like, oh, we have funding. We're always worried about our funding, but like we work for Intel, like, but Intel funds. It's super weird. Like I still can't get a grasp on it.
Do you want to see some crazy rare Nike dance shoes, prototype dance shoes?
Yeah, because I'm tired of talking about my Intel career that was short-lived. You know what I have to say is they pay crazy, like too much. They pay too much.
Well, they make good billions of dollars. Ever seen these?
No, show them.
I don't think they made very many of these. They're Nike Zoom Dazantes.
What the crop that photo?
That's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing this entire time. I'm cropping fucking photos. Annoying.
Those are crazy looking.
Aren't those sweet? Check out the heels.
How much are you selling them for?
They're made in Korea means they're early, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, they stopped making shoes in Korea in the early 90s. Early 90s. How much are these worth?
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't have the Beaverton address on them. Damn.
What does that mean?
Huh?
What does that mean? It doesn't have the Beaverton address.
You'll see some samples that say "shipped to Beaverton" on this little part, and that's, I don't know, collectors like that.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Here, this is cool. Nike Zoom Air Dazante. See, like the early samples always had these like 2x3 stickers in them. So this is metallic pewter. Doesn't have a date. Usually, see, that makes me think it's the year 2000. But I didn't think they were still making shoes in Korea at that time, but maybe they were. Check out those bottoms. They're sweet. Nike make so much weird stuff.
Nike did make a lot of weird stuff.
And they put their name on everything. Like there's like Nike pie pans, Nike everything.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Nike put their name on anything that they could put their name. They were like a blatant image, you know. I mean, there's just Nike on everything.
Oh, wow.
What?
You're right though. Like they literally like zoom everything.
Oh yeah. Zoom. I like how they have Air Max and Max Air.
Well, and they have like dry fit, fit dry. Like
Yeah. Why did they have Zoom Air and Air Zoom? Like, who came up with that idea? Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Alright, I'm gonna go to this Pendleton sale tomorrow, so I think I have to go to bed.
oh my god, I can't wait to hear about it. You better like let us know how that
I'll
goes.
try to videotape it,
Yeah.
but
You have to solve.
I've been really bad at videotaping things, but I'll try. Anyway, I think these shoes would go for like around $100.
I want to know who buys them.
Somebody who's rad as hell. Look at those. They look like an armadillo.
Kayla, you just let me and Corey talk this entire night about nothing.
Exactly.
I've been actually working.
Yeah, I'm trying to work too, and it's just, like too unfocused right now.
Because also
I was listing, and then I did like
just
26
viewing the
listings
traits
today, which
at
is
the
good for me.
Crucible
So
sold
Yeah, I
back.
popped off 40 while we were doing this show, so that's not
But yeah, there's
that
no
good. I
other
should
way
have
to-
done like 80, but yeah. Anyway, night kids.
Night.
night.
Lovely to see you. Thanks everybody in the chat for hanging out. We'll be more exciting next time. I'm a little bit tired.